So Trey, let's switch gears a little bit and talk about specifically about investment clubs and how that fits into your overall strategy. So can you explain to everyone what is an investment club and why are they important for us to start as, I guess, a community?
An investment club is really what it sounds like. So it's a small group of people who come together to invest. Now, traditionally, it's been investing in stocks. So, like the first investment clubs in America were founded to invest in stocks, and people would, share investment strategies, stock picks, do research, kind of pool their resources or pool their brain power together to, pick investments and pick stocks. Now it's evolved over the years. Most of them are still focused on stocks, but it's evolved over the years to include alternative investments and other investments too. So like people getting together to go in on real estate or property. A family might start an investment club to start a business. So they use the investment club in order to save up money to start a business, and there are just more formal ways to accomplish that. Now there are informal ways that a lot of immigrant communities have been using, like susus and rotating savings clubs. And this is like a similar concept, but it's um, more organized and formalized. So that you would actually form a LLC or a corporation and have an operating agreement and contracts and things like that. So it's a little bit more formalized, but yeah. So um, I actually started an investment club earlier this year, and we are establishing an LLC and going to manage it that way. So, investment club is just really just a small group of people who come together to invest towards a specific goal.
Yeah. So why though? So why, in terms of, I want to look at it on two different levels because I know you talk about the organization of capital,
Mhm.
right, and resources. But I want you to talk about why on a small group level,
Mhm.
and then how that fits into the broader structure in terms of what we need to do to develop the Black economy.
Right. So, as individuals, we are relatively economically powerless in the Black community. We've all heard the stats about, the average wealth of in the Black community being dismal compared to, the general population. Wealth inequality is also worse in our community. So I think the top 10% of the Black community own like 75% of all the wealth in the Black community. So we've got a huge wealth disparity, and those people. So I talk about this all the time. The people with the most money in the Black community are the people the least likely, the people that who are least likely to be able to do something effective with it. Concerning the overall community. So they might be good at making themselves money, but they're not really good at deploying that capital to make systemic change and affect the broader Black community. So we can't wait around for Oprah and Diddy and Jay-Z to save us. We have to start organizing our own capital where, in our communities and among our families and existing Black organizations, to invest in ourselves, our own businesses, lands, uh, all all a range of assets, and then start to direct those towards coordinated efforts and coordinated goals that benefit the entire Black community. For example, reducing Black unemployment, um, increasing educational opportunities and on-the-job training, um, starting to develop trade relations and economic relations with other communities, say in Africa and the Caribbean, things like that. So as individuals, it's hard to do that. So even if you are relatively like on a global scale, you would be considered wealthy. Like say you have $100,000 in the bank. For an individual, that's pretty good, but you can't really do anything very impactful and start moving the needle with such small amounts. So we need to start coordinating and cooperating and pooling our resources together so we can access bigger deals, basically, and bigger investment opportunities, bigger deals, and things that are usually precluded from individual investors because just don't have the capital to get started.
Gotcha. No, I mean, I think that's very
So yeah.
interesting. Yeah,
So
and go ahead. I'm sorry.
the short answer of the why is we need to organize our capital because without it we can't access the kind of deals and make the kind of investment that we need to make a a significant and sustained impact in the Black community.
Got you. Yeah, I think that's something that you revealed to me that I did not know in regards to the economic disparities or wealth inequality within the Black community, where you said the top 10% or is the top 1% owns 70% of the wealth?
Uh, I can't remember now. You're gonna have to. So Antonio Moore has is where I got that stat from, and I think he's got a paper he wrote with I'm gonna say Sandy Darity and Duke University. So there's the myths about closing the racial wealth gap or something like that. And he's got a lot of stats in there. So because before he said it, I didn't realize it was that bad. I knew like just anecdotally and just looking around as an outside observer, it seems that way, but I didn't have any hard numbers to put to it. So you can see that inequality in the Black community is bad, but I had no idea what it was in relation to the overall community and how bad it was.
Yeah, I think it's worse in the Black community than in other communities, actually, right? And no, that's due to two reasons. Where I guess one is our wealth is just a lot lower than other communities, and then I guess we have a significant amount more, I guess, people who are poor within Black communities as well, due to policy concerns and other things.
And it's concentrated in basically one industry,
entertainment, right? So sports and
entertainment. There are very few of us. That's like say Robert Smith, Junior Bridgman, Michael Lee Jones.
Yeah, there are a few. I mean, there are a few others, right? But not many, right? Who
probably,
didn't at least.
If you think about it, we could probably name them all.
Right. Yeah, we could. You're 100% right about that.